Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's presentation of the Friends of Sim Racers Tour Racing League Mountain Dew Dash Series presented by the Fast Racing League, TDR Racing League, and Fuel Racing League. I'm your host, Joe Twansky, and alongside me tonight is Mr. Richard Ricky Collette. Welcome again to the booth, Ricky.
Hey Joe, thanks for having me here again for a second week in a row.
Second week in a row, but a completely different challenge for these drivers tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway. What are you most excited to see?
Well, I'm just excited to see some drafting. Chicagoland for the Dash Series is known for a lot of wide open racing, a lot of side by side multi-lane racing, but also a lot of drafting.
A lot of drafting here, and we've seen throughout practice that it's a very small field this evening. Kind of a shocker with the playing field's kind of a little leveled here as opposed to last week at Sonoma where that driver talent really takes over. Um, you talked about drafting, and a lot of times we think that means that you don't need as much talent or you don't need as much skill at these tracks. Is that really the case though? Because it's a whole different skill set, right?
No, you definitely need some talent to run well here. When you get a shorter field like this, you kind of get some benefit of points because realistically, you only finish the worst you can finish in this is sixth, so there isn't a whole ton on the line by finishing last. But to be good here, it definitely requires a good set of a special set of talent or this kind of racing.
Yeah, and so right now we've had what, five, six drivers take time. We're missing some guys that have won races this year, Corbin Huffman being one. But Matt Watkins, who's been so dominant on these mile and a halves, is here tonight. He's the favorite to win, right?
Yeah, I gotta say that 15 there, the 15 Mario car of Matt Watkins, he is gonna be the favorite to win tonight. He has just been very good just across every track that we've been running so far this season. But the one place that I take a notice that he's been running very well is these kinds of wide open mile and a halves. Last one we went to, I believe, was Kentucky, which he also won. So he knows what's up, how to get around here.
And here at this Chicagoland Speedway, the surface is a little rougher. Um, what's that do for these drivers when they think about strategy, tire wear, and the like?
Well, it definitely makes a puts a premium on tire wear. Like you said, this track's a rough surface, so tires definitely mean something here in terms of just how the car is driving. A little different from just normal tire wear. One thing you'll take notice of here is the dangers of cold tires. Chicagoland, very bumpy surface, very worn surface. It doesn't take to cold tires too well when you're running around here wide open. Usually that first lap's kind of a doozy, especially if you got the car kind of loose. So it'll be interesting to see how we do restarts here, because I think that's going to be the most treacherous part of this race, is trying to navigate those tires for the first few laps while they get up to temperature.
Well, in our last mile and a half at Kansas, um, we saw that coming to pit road was a big issue for a lot of drivers. Chicagoland's obviously in that same, mile and a half. It's kind of got a similar entry to pit road. Do you see that being a challenge again this week?
Well, I said no last time and I got proven wrong, so I'm going to say keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Very similar between Chicagoland and Kansas. Chicagoland, of course, has that curved backstretch, but the banking, the diameter of the turns, they're kind of just the same with minor differences. Four's a little shallower, I think, but it's going to be the same kind of principle. You're coming through that turn wide open. It's not the most banking you always see at a track. It's about 18 degrees of banking there, so you don't have a whole ton keeping you towards the bottom of the track. So it's going to take a lot of braking and a lot of good timing to make sure that you're hitting your marks to make it on pit road.
Yeah, and I mean, this track, it's an interesting track as qualifying has been completed. Tonight, a guy that a lot of times I've picked and kind of been on the bad end of picking him. Randall Coleman is on the pole this evening. Great accomplishment for that 9 Napa team. To his outside will be the 15 of Matt Watkins. Starting third will be the 1 Allegiant Chevy of Zach Krastowski. Fourth will be the 29 of Brian Wolf. Fifth will be Cody Luke. And rounding out our small field this evening of 6 drivers will be Andrew Miller in that 47. He did not take a time. Ricky, I'm going to give you all 6 of these guys. It's not as many as you usually get to pick from, but who are you picking to win this race?
I'm gonna throw a. I know both of us are gonna be clamoring for that 15 there, so I'm gonna throw you a bone on that and double back down on what I did at Kansas and pick that 9 of Randall Coleman. Uh, that 9 car is susceptibly fast at these mile and a halves. Always up there, always shuffling around with the leaders. He came into quite a bit of misfortune at at Kansas. Overshot pit road, got a penalty, got stuck 2 laps down. Kind of wasn't a factor in the race. But as you can see right there, he can put down some fast times. He'll be starting right up front. It's a small field, so uh, all that's going to matter really is him focusing on hitting his marks, and I think Randall's up for the task.
Yeah, I think Randall's obviously a great pick. He's going to have the number 1 pit stall this evening, but like you said, you left me Matt Watkins, so I got to take him. He's just been so dominant on these mile and a halves. We were watching Andrew Miller here, that heartbreaker at Charlotte. I don't want to say he stole that win away from Miller, but Miller was looking like he had it locked down. And here comes Matt Watkins to win that race. So I'm thinking that 15 is probably going to take it to victory lane, that Toyota Supra. Another common theme we've seen this season, you talked about drafting. Well, something that a lot of times comes along with drafting is teammates and manufacturer teammates. So tonight, again, 5 Chevrolets, 1 Toyota. How does that hurt Matt Watkins?
I don't think it hurts him a whole lot. With these bodies on these cars, it's a very similar, very even playing ground. All same aerodynamic characteristics. Really, it's not going to play a huge factor because a lot of these guys aren't really affiliated with each other. Taking a quick look around the track, I'm not really sure if anyone out here is actually teammates with each other of the grouping that we have tonight.
The 9 and the 1.
9 and the 1? Alright, well then you might see the 9 and the 1 try to work together, but I don't expect really anyone to be playing any games with teammates or manufacturer commitments. There's 6 people here. There's no reason why you can't be going all out right now.
Yeah, and again, since we're at the top of this broadcast, I'd like to apologize for it starting late. We had some scattered thunderstorms in the area before the race. You saw during opening practice it was a little darker. Got some clouds rolling in now here at the Chicagoland Speedway. So just a little rain delay that delayed opening practice, which usually takes place for an hour before we start. So that pushed back our start of practice to make sure these drivers all got enough laps in to make sure they felt comfortable with the track and their cars. This series, again, is a fixed setup series, so all these guys have the same exact parts and pieces underneath the car. It's just the shell of it is a little bit different. Ricky, I'm really excited for this race. It should be another great show here in the Friends as Sim Racers Tour Racing League Mountain Dew Dash Series.
Yeah, Joe, I'm right there with you. I think this is going to be a fun time. This is a very racy track. A lot of different ways that you can run these turns. You actually kind of can get lines going if you're really trying. The way these cars are set up, I think they're going to be just tight enough that it's not really going to be a handling race in 3 and 4, which is usually what thins everyone out. So I think we're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing and a lot of slipstreaming tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, too, the tire wear with these guys. They're probably going to be full throttle for a decent portion of the race. Also, with it being a smaller field, that definitely helps because you don't get as much draft to where run full throttle is hard. Here you see your pick, Randall Coleman, on the screen. Randall's done a great job of, he's the head admin of the league, and we'd like just a moment of appreciation for him and everything they do as Fast continues to put on 3 great nights of racing a week. This series on Tuesday nights, Wednesday night's Cup Series, which is going to Darlington tomorrow evening, and after that will start its playoff run for the 2020 Segment 1 Season A, whatever you want to call it, championship. And then the Friday Night Truck Series, which is also an open setup like the Wednesday Night Cup Series, and opposed to the Dash Series, which is fixed setup. And then you also have the TDR League that runs Saturday nights. That is a closed setup Cup Series. That would also be another series that you can look into. So, a lot of great options if you want to get into NR 2003, if you want to get into sim racing for you here between Fast and TDR. So, again, it's going to be an interesting race this evening. You're going to see a lot of guys thinking we're going to see some slipping and sliding. Um, don't think we're going to see a lot of cautions tonight with such a small field. I have a feeling these guys are going to be a little bit more protective, a little easier to start the race, but maybe once we get to the end, it might get a little crazy.
Yeah, Joe, I think that's a pretty good assessment. One thing I think should be important to point out here, 6 guys, not a lot of chance for caution. That means fuel management's going to be a big deal here. You can save quite a bit just drafting off of people, not having to run full throttle. So I think you're going to see a lot of that, especially the first run, a lot of games being played with trying to stretch out that run as far as these guys can to maximize their fuel run.
And again, it's going to be a really interesting race. You're going to have tire strategy too if you come in early, come in later. It should be roughly 28 to 32 laps on gas. So this is a 67 lap race. So that means it's going to be one stop, but you're going to have to save a little bit if we don't get some early cautions. So again, it'll be interesting to see as the drivers now being called to their cars.
Drivers, to your cars.
So
Drivers, start your engines!
there you hear the command, start engines. All 6 of these drivers get those ponies fired all up for another what should be a great night of racing action. Thank you so much for tuning in here on YouTube.com. I'm Joe Twansky. Alongside me is Mr. Ricky Collette. We are so happy that you're joining us, either watching us live or watching the replay of the event. Hopefully we have another spectacular finish this evening. Ricky, I'm so excited. We're ready to go here.
Yeah, I'm excited too, Joe. We've done enough waiting. It's time to go racing here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Seems like we haven't caught a break the last few weeks. We had the rain delay at Michigan. We had another rain delay here, but hope to get you this race in relatively quickly. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. As the car is going down the backstretch again, Randall Coleman is your pole sitter. To his outside is the 15 of Matt Watkins. Zach Krastowski lines up third. Brian Wolf fourth. The 4 of Cody Lukes, that last car on the inside, and shotgun on the field is Mr. Andrew Miller in the 47. I see Mr. Bill Murnahan tuning in on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, Bill. We wish you were at the track with us racing, but appreciate you tuning in here a lot. As the car is now rolling off turn 4, Randall Coleman will lead him to the green. Hopefully he doesn't choke this one away. Again, for your sake, Ricky. Green flags in the air. We're underway here at Chicagoland.
I see right here, the field kind of broke up there right in the start. Seems like no one's really wanting to take a jump at this. Some of the guys in the back there might have just decided to drop back already and start saving.
Yeah, it looked like that 29 of Brian Wolf, he really wanted to just get into, single file racing. You're starting on that second row and it's a short field. I would think you'd want to get up towards the front and try to lead some laps here, get some bonus points.
Yeah, at the very least, even if you're not trying to lead laps, I think you'd want to stay in that front shuffle. Draft's a big deal here. So you really want to make sure you're staying with that lead group. My concern always when these guys start running that far back is that if you lose the draft or if you have any bit of a slip up, you really kind of hurt yourself to the point that you might not be able to regain with the group.
Yes.
GNS cars here, they definitely do suck up. They don't suck up as well as the trucks, but they are a little less aero sensitive in the sense that the draft stays into effect a little more gradual as the further you get away.
Yeah, we saw Zach Krastowski. He moves into the second position behind his teammate, passing Matt Watkins, and Andrew Miller now looking for fourth.
Yeah, Joe, one thing you want to keep an eye out here, as these guys are rolling around, those cars dipping into the track. You'll know when everyone starts saving because you'll see the cars start kind of sinking down as going in the turns. That means drivers not on the throttle, but even more to that point, they're clutching going into the turn. There's no resistance on the car. It's just getting forced down.
Yeah, another thing, too, I'd like to talk about real quick. At Kansas, we saw the 9 of Randall Coleman. He pulled away and was really fast and made a hard charge to the front of the field, but we're seeing that same thing here, but all these guys behind him are saving fuel. How is that going to hurt him going on throughout this race?
Well, Joe, right now, it might actually, it's probably going to hurt him if these guys really are serious about saving. Sometimes you get far enough into a run, you kind of have a decision on if you want to save or if you want to race. I think these guys will get a few laps in of clutching it. kind of get an understanding of how many laps they can save by doing that. And if it's not going to be a lot, they might turn it back up. Randall, in theory, he could get a time advantage here just by pacing the field. Driving away from them, might do him some good just to get distance on him when we get to pit stops. Even if he pits first, he'll have that little bit of a gap. So it might play into his hands there, but at the same time, I don't know. He'd still get caught without the draft. I don't know if it's a risky play.
As Andrew Miller moves to the outside, Zach Krastowski to take over the second position. That 47 car, don't really want to say charge into the front, but he's passed everybody except Randall in front of him to start this race.
Yeah, it's looking like that 47's not really clutching down. A lot of these guys just seen him sinking into the track, and that 47's just sort of checking out from him. I think Andrew Miller here might not be liking what he's seeing with that those fuel savings. Might just decide that it's better to start trying to track Randall down. Benefit to second place too is that he's still technically in the wind of the 9 car, so even if he's not clutching, he still has that draft. He's still saving just a little bit of fuel because he's not having to push the car as much.
Yeah, and when you talk about not pushing the car as much too, that helps with your tires and helps you run faster laps throughout a run, right?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it helps him as much as it helps Randall leading. I think that's the only advantage he has really out front right now is that because that draft kind of pulls you, so it almost forces you to use up that right front more than you wanna. So I think that 9 car has the advantage there, but that 47, if he's not pushing it super hard by his own accord, just trying to stay within the gap that he has right now in the 9, I don't think it'll probably do him better than some of these guys following him who might be trying to just keep that draft.
As we continue to watch Andrew Miller in this 47, everyone's kind of gotten strung out here. Everyone giving each other room. We're not seeing some close racing as of yet. But that 9 car of Randall Coleman is pulled away, and Miller had got real tight off at turn 2.
Yeah, that's a big thing you gotta be careful with you when you're running the draft. You're in that dirty air, so Randall Coleman up front here, he might not be having to get off that much going into the turns. With the 47, when that draft's pulling him, it makes the car want to move quicker than it would be by itself. So I think that car's pushing just a little bit.
Yeah, you saw another moment. And that's got to help, too, though, here at Chicagoland with that curved backstretch. Gives you a couple extra feet, right?
Yeah, a little bit. When you get off the turn, just because of how it's arced, it's still kind of a close wall coming off the turn. But it does help a little bit that even if you take that turn wide, that wall's eventually going to come away from you. Right now, I'm noticing 15 of Matt Watkins sort of just rolling around the back. Kind of a tale of two strategies here. Randall Coleman, the 9, my pick, just up logging laps. Your pick, the 15, just sitting in the back here, clutching, just hanging on to that draft, trying to save fuel. Looks like you might be trying to stretch this to a one-run race.
Well, Matt Watkins has proved a bunch of times this season, as we see Ryan Pace tuning in here, one of our fellow commentators, as well as a participant in last week's race. Yes, Ryan, there is fuel mileage this evening. We're thinking these guys can probably make it on one stop, but they're going to have to save 3 to 4 laps to make it. So Matt Watkins in this 15 is doing it here at the start of the run.
Yeah, Ryan Pace watching in chat, the undisputed king of fuel mileage. We're saying 3 to 4 laps they need to save. Ryan Pace could probably save 6 to 8 laps because he's Ryan Pace.
It's Andrew Miller now looking to the inside of Randall Coleman. This might give Randall an opportunity to maybe save some fuel and let Miller go on by.
You think so? It looks like that 9's still staying right in it. Randall's done so many races at Chicagoland here, just among the different fast series, the dash series, the truck series, TDR. He's run this Chicagoland so many times. He knows it like the back of his hand. He might know something that we don't about what a fuel run's like with these cars. So maybe he's just trying to cut it down the middle without having to worry about saving this first run.
Well, and as a driver, too, you don't want to be saving fuel. Your crew chief's coming over the radio. You're looking at your gauges, telling him pressures, and he's guesstimating his best about how many laps you can make it. You don't want to worry about fuel mileage, especially this early in a race, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'm starting to notice these guys are getting a little racy here. We've got the 4, Cody Luke, right behind Randall Coleman, looking like he's starting to form a lineup up there. Zach Krastowski and the 1 going on the bottom, and then the 29, 15 sort of just straggling, kind of pushing both lines along here. These guys kind of running side by side right now. Very different tale from what we had about 15 laps ago at the start of this race.
Yeah, I was gonna say little racy. They're a lot racy right now. All 6 cars under a blanket here at Chicago. Coleman's still your leader, but looks like Cody Luke's gonna be able to make that outside. As Brian Wolf looks like he gets into the wall going down the straightaway.
Oh, it looked like he just grazed it. That was close. He might have just taken, just a little, like that top layer of clear coat off that car, but that was a close shave. 29 had with that wall. These guys are starting to pick it up. Like I said earlier, this might be a case that these guys are starting to look at what their fuel runs coming out to with all that saving, and they might not be liking what they're seeing right now. They might be cutting their losses and trying to race as the 4 Cody Luke goes the inside of Randall Coleman. Going to the turn here, depending on where this 47 that might help this 4 take that front spot. He's got to stay up top with the 9 here, which is going to help Randall get that run off the turn.
Yeah, but it looks like the 47 gets into the wall, brushes it a little bit. That's going to slow his momentum. And here comes the 29, Brian Wolf, into 3rd.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that high line. It's so tempt because it's fast here. And but you think you have more space than you do, and you just kind of, as soon as you catch that wall, it like sticks you. It's like glue. Just grabs you and slows the car down about 20 miles an hour. You just got to hope that you don't touch that.
As now Tommy Bordeaux tuning in, another one of our fellow JTN announcers. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we are, as they're getting racy here. Battling for the lead, Cody Luke on the inside and the 4, Randall Coleman to the outside. But everyone else looks like they're going to follow Randall. Big moment there by the 29. I'm sorry. It just took my breath away for a second there. As Cody Luke falls back to 4th.
Yeah, these guys are racing hard, and like that thing about having a 6-car field here, Joe, the glory of that. Some of these guys, I think, that's their moment of glory here. Some of these guys that might usually be running further back can kind of have that chance to just be up front, shuffling with the leader, because sometimes you're just a victim of circumstance at some of these tracks. But Chicagoland's very much a drafting game. Everyone's pretty much on an even playing field. It's just how well you maneuver that slipstream. With this few cars, it really gives you a chance to be up there and sort of, show your stuff. Maybe get a little ego boost on your end.
Miller in the wall
kind of
again. He's around.
Oh, he gets down to Zach Krastowski in the 1.
Big contact there. Did that bring out the caution? It did not.
That did not. Well, we'll see. The 1 of Zach Krastowski is stopped on the racing surface.
Well, there's nobody coming, so.
Like no caution. Nope.
Big moments.
Oh, goodness.
Big moments. We'll get you a replay of that as the battle for the lead continues. Try to get you a replay once this battle for the lead, though, it goes away, but they're still side by side off of turn 2. It's now my pick's pushing your pick on the inside here, Ricky, and you got the 4 Cody Luke and Brian Wolf going to 1-2.
Yeah, look at this. Brian Wolf, that 29 car. Face you don't see in a ton of these dash races. Out front, leading here at Chicagoland. Shuffled into a small 4-car pack here. This is really going to help these guys out big time, is because, those 2 fewer cars in this grouping means you kind of, less guys to deal with, a little more track surface, a little more games that you can play. 9 and Randall Coleman's dropping back a little bit. You can do that now. Just less spoons in the soup pot, as it were. It's going to help these guys just sort of make some more crazy moves, make some more Hail Marys for the lead.
Yes, we're going to get you a view of this incident here. You see Andrew Miller from our helicopter cam. He's going to get really high off of turn 2, and he's going to scrape the wall, and that's just going to send him down into the 1 of Zach Krastowski. And just big hit to the right front of the 1 car, so that's going to be a lot of aero damage to that machine, and definitely not something you want this early in the race, and with such a small field. And then not to have a caution, that's really got to hurt both those teams.
Yeah, that really does have to hurt. The problem with a lot of these tracks is that when you have an incident off the racing surface like that, it won't throw a yellow. Zach Krastowski in the 1 car there came back on the racing surface sideways, but it kind of it can get temperamental on what constitutes a yellow flag for the track officials. Varies from track to track. Sometimes you just have to deal with that. But very unfortunate for the 47 the 1 here. The 1 with Krastowski still soldiering around on the track, hoping for some kind of caution, but unfortunately it looks like the 47 of Andrew Miller is done for the day.
Yeah, it looks like it's a tough break for the 47 team. They've been so strong at these 1.5 miles this season, to have it end like that. But like we said, he just kept getting closer and closer to that outside wall off of 2, and it just finally was too close, and it caused that incident. Now Randall Coleman's dropped back a pretty decent way from these top 3.
Oh, he's pitting.
Oh, he's pitting. Oh,
This is an interesting development here, Joe. So it might be that Randall Coleman, the 9 car, might actually be trying to sit this into a 2-stop race.
Well, he's definitely going to be in a 2-stop race because if, we're at, he completed 25 laps, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking these leaders can probably go to 28. So if he only is, I'm thinking Cody Luke's pitting here too. It looks like he is.
Yeah, with this few guys, he might be banking on. I see Cody Luke light up those tires going to pit road. He'll make it. He might be looking at doing an early stop here, get that fresh rubber, get that speed. With a 4-car grouping here, that's gonna whatever you can get for an advantage with fresh rubber is gonna mean a lot.
Well, it might have been that these crew chiefs and drivers, when we were interviewing them down in the garage area before the race, were lying to us. They were some of them were saying, "Oh, we can make 32 laps. We can make 32 laps," but that does not seem to be the case here.
Yeah. So what it looks like is you see these guys coming as you see the 4-car on pit road there. 15 to 29 still out here, still trying to log some laps. These guys are going to have to do one more pit stop. What we'll probably see on that last pit stop is a lot of these guys either taking 2 tires or taking no tires, depending on how many cans of fuel it's going to take for them to make it to the end of this second run to get to the end of the race. They'll have to make a tire call, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see guys taking no tires or 2 tires on that second stop.
Well, and the first thing that comes to my mind too when you say, you're going to be concerned about tires is I have to be concerned about how I get to pit road entry. We saw Cody Luke in that 4. He locked all 4 of those tires up coming to pit road. Really bad. And that would mean that he's... Sorry, he'd have to take 4 tires.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, and
We're having a Gale session up here. But you're going to say...
I got smoke coming out of my ears here. Yeah, whatever Cody Luke did there, what I was going to say was seems to be paying off for him because he's still in the wind of the 9-car Randall Coleman, and that's going to help him because the 9 cars following the 1 is Zach Rostowski. These 3 can get a drafting train going. And even if the 29 and the 15 stay out, they're going to have that speed on them just by sheer numbers. Because Zach Rostowski's going to be out for a little bit. He probably pitted recently. He just went up the track to let Randall by.
Brian Wolf.
Still be in that grouping.
Brian Wolf just completely missed pit road. That's going to be a big time penalty for that 29 team, and definitely going to probably be a race breaker for him.
Oof, yeah. Well, we'll see if that gives him a penalty. Last mile and a half we went to at Kansas there. We thought a lot of these guys missed pit road, and I guess the track officials saw differently.
Well,
so,
he
we'll see if he's got to come back down.
He was completely right of pit lane past the commitment line in the grass. So I'm thinking that's probably going to end up being a penalty for that 29 machine. He locked them all up, so he's going to have to pit this time. So Matt Watkins is your leader here, and he's still saving gas. We've been talking about, trying to make it a one-stop race. I'm assuming he's going to be coming pretty soon here, though, to pit road.
Yeah, it looks like he's made that 32 laps as we discussed, as he's coming out of turn 4 here to complete lap 32, start lap 33. It'll be interesting to see if he stays out. So he's stretched beyond the run for what we said we thought these guys were going to run. So I guess it is doable. I think Randall Coleman and Cody Luke saw it differently, but really right now, that's the only way that 15's going to have a shot at this, because without the 29, he's all by himself in no man's land. The 9 and the 4 are drafting off each other to some capacity, kind of have that wind keeping themselves going along there.
Mm-hmm.
But that 15's all by himself, and it looks like he's going to stay out again as he comes off turn 4 to take lap 34.
Yeah, and at this pace, he's going to be able to make it to the end pretty clean. I'm thinking this 15 strategy is I'm going to stay out as long as I can, get as many laps on this first run to make sure that I can make it to the end on the second run, maybe make it a little easier in case I got to push a little bit more. But now that he's got no competition on this close to the same strategy as him, he's not going to have to push it too hard, is he?
No, he really isn't. And, that might actually, this whole thing with tires might play into his hand, because when he has to pit, he's going to have to take 4 tires. But if he's staying out, then the 9 and the 4 will get their lap back from him. They'll be on track ahead of him, but he'll probably come out on that lead lap with much fresher rubber.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he won't have, even if he ends up having to pit again, which I don't think he would have to, he might be able to track these guys back down in that case. But that also comes down just to where he comes out on track. He's losing a lot of time to him right now, doing the saving. But see if he comes in this time.
Looks like he is.
Yep, he's gonna come down
Ooh,
pit
really
road.
hot. Oh.
Ooh, we'll see.
We'll see. That was really close because a speeding penalty at this point would completely, throw away almost the entire point of trying to, go out longer and then not have to make a pit stop at the end. So Watkins on pit road. Coleman and Cody Luke will probably assume the lead here since they've been running together, running fast laps for a while. So it'll be interesting to see how these leaders cycle through. Because everyone was pretty much running by themselves, it seems like. Because I think Cody Luke's now lost the 9 of Randall Coleman. Lost his draft. You see him saving fuel here.
Yeah, he might be trying to just sort of outfox Randall in whatever way he can. Maybe he's seen something with mileage right now that he's going to try to Hail Mary that pit strategy and at least stay out longer than the 9. But we'll see as the 15's coming off pit road right now if he gets a penalty from that.
Yeah, I mean, he was coming pretty hot. As you see, the 29 and Brian Wolf gets around him. I'm assuming that 29 didn't have a penalty either, because I don't think he's come back to pit road, has he?
At the moment, the 29 is the only car a lap down because the 15 is cycle. I believe he did come back down because if he was still on pit cycle, he would be on the lead lap currently.
Right. All right, well.
The 15 is going to cross the line into place.
In what place?
3rd place right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, right now it looks like it's going to be Matt Watkins' race to lose because he's not going to have to make another pit stop. The 2 guys in front of him are. So if you're Randall Coleman, if you're Cody Luke, what's your strategy at this point? You know you got to make another pit stop, and the guy behind you that's the presumptive leader once they come back down. What do you have to do to maybe stay close enough to him to where you could possibly strike at the end of this race?
Pray for a caution.
Is that it? Is it just that?
If you're in the 9 of Randall Coleman right now, I think that's the case because if that 15 really did play the strategy game there, which I honestly think he did. He ran what 35 laps there on that run. That at least on a second run that should get him to lap 70. So he does not have to come back down. That 4 is questionable, but that 9's been running wide open. So I think all Randall Coleman can do is keep hitting his marks, running fast laps, trying to extend that lead any way that he can. But realistically, if he wants to not get lose this race to the 15 on pit road, he's going to need a caution.
Well, yeah, and just it's crazy. You know, we've talked. It seems like every week we kind of talk about this 9-car strategy. It seems like they take the one that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know if that's just a driver preference or if it's a crew preference or what the team, what the guys in the shop, figure out in their big brain engineer heads. But it's confusing, especially when you have such a small field. Why not do the riskier thing like Matt Watkins did, save all the gas?
Yo, it looks like the 9 of Randall Coleman's actually coming to pit now.
That is interesting.
Oh,
and
my.
Cody Luke also.
In the 4, Cody Luke with him. Wow, that is fascinating. So right now, it looks like the 9 of Randall Coleman, the 4 Cody Luke are coming down as they cross the line for lap 41. They'll pit here. They'll make it to the end. They'll have fresher rubber than that 15. But that 15's a leader right now. I don't know. We'll have to see where the 9 and the 4 come out on this because I want to say the 15's going to lap them.
Yeah,
but at that point,
they're taking tires.
Yeah, the 15 doesn't need to stop again. So if the 15 laps them, all they can do is maybe if they work together to get by the 15, they can drive past them. But even then, that's wow.
Yeah, that's
looks like these.
Like you said, if their only thought was we gotta stay out, try to hope for a caution. Now, if I'm the 15, I'm saving. I have a whole extra lap now that I can just save just in case I'm close. But I don't know. So the 15 cars now, your only car on the lead lap here. We got 6 cars. So one of them's already retired. So everyone in this field that's still running is going to get a top 5. So congratulations to all 5 teams and drivers. But yeah, I'm speechless. I'm puzzled, Ricky. I don't know what they're doing on that 9-4 boxes right now.
I am absolutely flabbergasted. I guess the only play that they could do right now is maybe fresher tires will help them track it back down. But a little interesting tidbit here. The one of Zach Krastowski is now in 2nd. So we thought he was out of this earlier with that into the 47. I don't know if he needs to make a stop. I want to say I saw him down pit road a little while ago, so I think he should be good.
Yeah, but, he went longer than the 9 and the 4, but I don't know what that
I'm
means.
going to have to go with Tommy Bordeaux here in the chat when he says, I feel like the 15 has this in the L bag. Tommy, that's not real Spanish, but I agree with you. I think this is really the 15's race to lose right now. I really don't know if Randall Coleman's... The tires mean something here, but they don't mean...
that
It's single
much.
car to single car. It's incremental.
Yeah.
Randall Coleman just ran a 28.73 on that last lap as they came to lap 44. The 15 Matt Watkins ran a 28.9. So Randall Coleman's running about 2/10 faster than him. You gotta imagine that differential is probably gonna stay constant since Watkins has been out there for a while.
Mhm.
There's not really gonna be any kind of equalizing because Coleman's gonna have like 10 laps newer tires.
Well, and Watkins also has this draft off of the 29 of Brian Wolf. That he's kind of staying behind him here.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting because right now, that's the other thing too. Brian Wolf, the 29 there. Ryan Pace in chat thinks the one car of Zach Krastowski should be good. I think this 29 should be good because he had to pit a few times there. So,
well, if he was coming back down for a penalty, he's not allowed to stop in the box because it would have just been a pass through.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so he might need to begin, but even then, he kind of gave 15 some considerable amount of help there.
Yeah.
Coleman's still running 2/10 faster laps. I just don't think that's going to be enough. The 4 Cody Luke just ran a 29 flat, so he's running about what the 15's running.
Well, and Coleman has, what, 20 laps to make up, almost a whole lap and change, so...
Yep, 15 comes across the line for lap 48, hitting 20 laps to go here. It really looks like that's all the time that he has, so he's gonna have to pull a rabbit out of his hat here. What might do him some good is if that 29 of Brian Wolf, beg my pardon, keeps dropping back. He might be able to get a draft off of him. That might help him close that gap to the 50 a little quicker. But right now it looks like he's in the 15's win, so he's gonna kind of stay where he is.
But even then, if he catches the 15, it's not a pass for the lead. It's just a pass to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, at that point, and then there's a whole nother kettle of fish that happens if that 9 catches the 15, because realistically, the 15, if he's slower, he's going to be able to hold up Coleman for quite a bit. I really don't know if that 9's really going to need a caution.
As you watch on here with us, again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Joe Twansky, Ricky Collette, by my side again this evening here at the beautiful Chicagoland Speedway. I would implore you to look at the links in the description below. There is a link to our JTN Facebook page. You can go ahead, like our page over there. We post every day when we'd be broadcasting. Also, give us a subscribe here on YouTube on my page, Joe Twansky, where you'll find all these JTN broadcasts, as well as there are 2 links. Also, there's a link for the Fast Racing League, where you can go to sign up to join in on the fun on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Friday nights in the NR 2003 Sim. And there are 2 links at the bottom that are to Teespring sites where you can purchase some different types of shirts and designs that help fund us here at JTN. If you go to the JoeTow Designs, which is my design page, you can find our first ever JTN designed shirt. Purchase that. Does us a lot of good. Use code JTN2 at checkout for 10% off of your purchase. So, again, doing any of those 4 things really helps us out a lot here at JTN. Helps me out a lot. And, hit a good old YouTube meme, hit the like button here. And, again, any little bit that you can do helps. Comments, loved it this evening. Bill writes in he's going to have to pull the rabbit out of somewhere else, Ricky. And I'm assuming that you don't need to imagine too much what he means by that, but... We're closing in on the end of this race. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think right now that's a pretty fair assessment of what's going on. That 15 continues to lead here. One thing I'm taking notice of, Joe, actually, on top of that, 29 of Brian Wolf came down pit road and has parked it, so he is retired for the race. Unfortunate, I guess, at some point, you got to cash your chips. Maybe he just sort of thought it was best to let sleeping dogs lie. So, 29 out of this race, but the only other car in the lead lap right now, the one of Zach Krastowski, has been clutching. I've been noticing it past like every single lap, clutching it going to the turn. If he's good on fuel, he's looking to get some insurance here, but really he's got nothing to lose right now with where the 9 Randall Coleman is. It's gonna be a very long time before that 9 car will catch him, if he catches him. So I guess he can do whatever he really wants up there. The only thing he can hope on is maybe that 5th comes up short on fuel because he doesn't have a draft this time around.
Yeah, it's just it's you hear it, you hear the motor run full song, and then all of a sudden it shuts off as we watch the one of Zach Kristowski. But I mean, even if he's got to save fuel, he's got half a lap that he can just coast around this track, so he's got plenty of space that he can kind of give up here to make it to the end. I'm thinking he's probably just outside his window though, because he did come before the 15. So
yeah, that's probably doable for him to make the end of the race, just because he has no he doesn't really have anything any incentive to run fast right now. Like I said, that 9 car is so far behind him that it's gonna take an eternity for him to catch him. So Zach can really just do whatever he wants here. The 15 coming up turn 4 here at take lap 57. Really is just his race to lose at the moment. It looks like he's sort of trying some different lines, experimenting here, but he really is just sort of logging laps. He's not actually even clutching it right now, so he must be really confident on his fuel run.
he's just out there having fun right now. That car is driving good. That Toyota Supra looking fantastic again here at 1.5 miles. The 1.5 dominator, the 15 of Matt Watkins so far this season, and as he comes to the line, it will be our TWB 10 to go. For years, TWB has been providing consumers and businesses alike with products and services that get stuff done. Visit TWB.com for more information as the 15 gets in the wall. Got a little too confident there. But let me continue what I was saying. Visit TWB.com for more information. TWB, let's do this. And that is your TWB 10 to go with a big moment there by the 15 of Matt Watkins. But he'll continue on. He's like he said, he's got a whole lap, so he's got a little wiggle room right now.
Yeah, he really can't beat himself at the moment. That's the only thing that's going to beat him from winning this race is himself. And I don't really. He's his own worst enemy out there right now, so he's just got to keep logging laps and doing whatever he needs to make it to the end, because he's effectively got this in the bag if nothing else happens. One car, Zach Kristowski, is still on the track, still saving, so it looks like he's really trying to set. Come off with a good finish here if he can hang on to that second place finish.
Oh yeah, that'd be a great finish for that one team. Probably is their best finish of the season so far. So yeah, great finish for that one team. Even if they finish, fourth, I think there's only 4 cars on track right now, so be a great finish for them and all of Revolution Motorsports or Racing or whatever they call themselves right now. But yeah, you see the Ford Cody Luke here on that 4 watermelon machine. An ode to Ross Chastain. Running in the 4th position, like the number on the door says. And then the 9 of Randall Coleman currently in 3rd here, going through turns 1 and 2. Coming down this long curved back straightaway. But we'll go back to our leader, Matt Watkins. Doing a fantastic job right now. Just doing his thing. Clicking off laps.
Yeah, Joe, he's really just doing his things. My apologies. This was not well. This was not rehearsed. This is all live before you, as you see it.
the wonders of live television.
Yeah, that 15. He's just been looking him away. I really don't know what to say at this point. It's just that he's been, right now. I think if he doesn't have to pit, then he's got this. All Randall Coleman could hope for is something to happen with that 15. He blows up the tire. Server dies, anything. He needs something to sort of. Server dies, and he gets 3rd, so he doesn't get the race for the win. So maybe not that, unless he just wants a quick way out. But right now, that 15, just all he needs to do is keep putting these laps away. As he comes around turn 4 here to take lap 64.
Yeah, just
4 to go.
As you can tell, we're still shocked by the way the strategy worked out. This 15 team has done something that no one else has this evening, stretching it to make it 1 stop when it looked like a lot of these guys weren't even going to barely be able to make it on 2 stops. We saw those guys pit on lap 25, and Well, they had to pit again at lap 40. So Matt Watkins still your leader here, taking 3 to go from the flagman. Just what an excellent
Yeah.
run by this team.
Yeah, it really is. This 15, like we said at the beginning of the race, he was really going to be the guy to beat. He played that beautifully. I think if the incident at the beginning of the race hadn't occurred between the 47 and the 1, this might have played a little differently because we had more of a pack. I think that's what the 9 team and the 4 team were anticipating.
Yeah.
When they took their strategy there, is that we were going to have more of a pack form. But it was just this 15 really went above and beyond, and he's been saving this whole way. And it looks like he's going to be able to keep this car rolling. I haven't seen him clutch at all, so he must be very confident with his fuel right now, or he's anticipating it running out at the perfect time.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised either way. That team, all the guys on top of the box back at the shop have done a great job with that 15 car this week as he'll come by to take the white flag. 1 lap remaining here at Chicagoland. The 15 of Matt Watkins, your leader, catching second place to try to put Zach a lap down. But yeah, Watkins has just done such a great job this evening. He'll go off of turn 2 for the last time down the back straightaway. Really, you see the other guy waving the flag, the white flag there, making sure he knows it's the last lap, so he keeps on going. But coming off of turn 4, it's going to be Matt Watkins again in this number 15 Toyota Supra Mario Brothers, winning here at Chicagoland. What a fantastic finish for that team, as now he clutches it.
Yeah, just need to save that little bit of fuel for that burnout. That's all he needs. Just an absolutely stellar performance for that 15 team today. They really did just play that fuel saving perfectly.
Yeah, and what it...
Zach Rostowski's coming off of turn 4 right now in second place.
Yeah, fantastic run by that team. I wonder how close Zach would have been had that incident not happened and he didn't have that right front damage hurting the aero on that car. But a fantastic finish by Matt Watkins as it looks like he's just going to take it to pit road, celebrate with his team, go to victory lane, it looks like.
Yeah, just has enough fuel to make it down there. Looks like he'll forego the burnout and just take it right to the checkered flag spot. Victory lane.
Right to victory lane.
Checkered flag.
Wow. Fantastic. Well, see our little drone cam, we got all around the car. But anyways, Ricky, last thoughts on tonight's race?
It was so surprising, though. It was just strategy the whole time. We really didn't think that new fuel mileage was going to play a factor here at the beginning, but I don't think any of us thought it was going to turn out like that. Just a fantastic play by that 15 team to take the win, and really, really entertaining to see them sort of outsmart the entire field.
Yeah, and they just did. Matt and that 15 crew, they just do such a great job. They don't have a lot of manufacturer support, and they don't have any teammates out here, so a great run by him and his team. So, yeah, I'm speechless still. I'm kind of shocked. We saw some great racing there for a bit, and then just everything went to fuel strategy. So, thank you everybody for tuning in this evening. We really appreciate it as always. Remember to check out all those links in the description of the video. Give us a like, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. My name's JoeTowNetwork, and for Ricky Collette, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in this evening. We'll see you next week at the Tricky Triangle, the Pocono Raceway.